One of the things I love about content is that it kind of just puts you into your zone. One of the strategies that I often tell people about is steward your story with content, discover purpose. Like there's a direct line from stewarding your story with content to discovering purpose. And the reason for that is because when you are being intentional about sharing the, ups and downs, the roller coaster that is your life, and the lessons that you've learned and that others should take away from those stories, you begin to develop some likes, some dislikes. You start to see what your secret sauce is. You start to recognize like, oh, okay, this is what I can do. Earlier, I was on a coaching call with the Inner Circle, and I was telling them about the trajectory of my live show. And it was based on this concept of, I didn't think that people wanted to hear me. So my first live stream, I had 5 guests, and when you added me in, it made 6. So 5 guests and then me made 6. 6 people on screen. It was the Wild West. You really couldn't hear anything from the guests themselves. And then so I went from 5 guests down to 1 guest. And that 1 guest and I had a great conversation. And one of the things I realized very quickly, because again, I still thought that the strength of my live stream was based on the guest that I was bringing in. I was still convinced, if I could be honest with you, that people weren't necessarily coming to see me. They were actually coming to hear the guest. And they were coming maybe to hear the topic. Maybe they're coming because there's something specific that they wanted to know, but the guest was the one that was going to be able to give it to them. And over time, I started to recognize part of my secret sauce was just looking at the camera and delivering. So part of my secret sauce was understanding the concept that I wanted to share and recognizing the stories that I had in my arsenal that I could pull together to make that message land for those that are watching. That's why I love content. Because I sincerely believe that as you steward your story, you will discover purpose. And purpose sometimes looks like the calling of your life, but purpose sometimes looks like your superpower. Purpose sometimes looks like realizing that there is a thing that you do that others don't do in the same way. And you think everybody does this. I'll give you another example. Had a guy decide, I had him on my live show as a guest. We had a phenomenal conversation. He absolutely loved it. For the next 6 months, I'd say, he was referring people to the live stream that he had with me. Anytime people would ask him, hey, tell me a little bit about what you do, man. You should watch this live show where this guy interviewed me. And I was able to kind of share all these different pieces. And he had a epiphany. Oh, if Kirk interviews me, I show up the way that I want the world to see me. Oh gosh, I hope that they're seeing the puzzle pieces come together here, Florence. If Kirk interviews me, then my digital self matches my real self. When Kirk interviews me, my digital footprint represents me in a way that I don't even have to say anything. I can just send them to that video. And so the guy came back and he said, I'd like to pay you to interview me once a quarter. Steward your story with content. You will discover purpose because others will see in you the value that you are belittling. Others will see in you something unequivocal, something that you have that no one else does, something that you do that is very specific and unique. And that engagement produced several other interviews, but you know what else it produced? His book Same gentleman said, hey, I need you to interview me. Here are the questions. It's going to be about a 2 hour. Tell me how much it's going to cost. I'm like, where are we streaming this? Who's going to watch 2 hours? He's like, no. This is not going to be streamed. We're going to have a conversation. You're going to ask these questions, but I want to do it in your way, Kirk. Kirk, do it your way. I want you, these are the suggested questions, but I want you to put the questions in your terms, in your words. I want this to be in your voice. Because when you ask the question, I show up the way I want the world to see me. So we had that 2 hour interview, and the transcript of that 2 hour video that we recorded became his book. Steward your story with content. You will discover purpose. You will discover purpose, and your discovery of purpose will be confirmed by the lives you're changing and the impact that you're having. The lives that you're changing, they can't help but to say something. They can't help but, man, this guy right here, this man right here, this girl right here, this person, this entity, this brand, they help me. They can't help but to say something. They don't even know how to be quiet about it, because as far as they're concerned, you did something that was impossible in their minds. Steward your story with content. Discover purpose. Change lives. Expand reach. Multiply opportunities. It's all there. This is the strategy for how it all works. This Romans 8:28, for we know that in all things, God works it together for the good of those who love him and are called according to his purpose. People don't know that the reason why that text is part of my overarching strategy for content coaching. It's part of my overarching strategy for branding and showing up in the digital space in a way that really feels like it's natural. It's your native tongue. The reason why is because you're not the author of the story. The author of the story knows what he's put in there. He knows where you have deviated and how he's had to bring it back on track. But his promise says that he will work it together for your good. Even the bad parts. And you start to stack those things. You start to see a pattern emerge. You start to recognize, like, okay, because I am uniquely and sometimes unfairly qualified in this area, I can help people experience this transformation in a way that no one else can. So I'm not selling a random service that you could get anywhere. You can only get this here. And this family is how it all works. It's why it works. It's because it's part of a grand design. No, man, content isn't just some perfunctory, superfluous activity that we mentally assent to. No, us creating content puts us in the lineage of greats like Moses and Abraham, and David, the prophets, major and minor. It puts us in the lineage of the apostles, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. The books bear their names, but the book is their content. The book is their life. Puts us in the lineage of Jesus and the Apostle Paul, who wrote half of the joint, right? Half of the New Testament. When we create content, we are plugging into the God-given creative ability that he's placed inside each one of us. Because we have decided to be obedient. My mic just keeps on running away from me here. I got to figure this out. We've decided to be obedient to what God has written into our story. You're just a steward. You don't own it. You're just a steward. And the parable of the stewards applies. To some he gave 1, to some he gave 5, to some he gave 10. It doesn't matter what amount he gave. You're only stewarding what you have thus far. But as long as you wake up in the morning, there's more to steward. There's more to be responsible for. There's more that others can glean value and wisdom from so that they can experience victory. This is how it all, this is why I love content. This is why I'm on here. Every other Wednesday, I come to this space to share with you your living. I don't want to be mean, but you're living beneath your purpose. What God has called you to, you're living beneath it. Some of you want an easy road. You want it to be smooth. You want it to be paved. I just want to be able to do this, and it just all works out for me. That's not what God called you to. That's not his promise. What example do you, any story you hear of, it doesn't matter if it is in the actual Bible or if it's your favorite leader. They had to walk a road that if they told you all the details, you would not choose it. You would not choose it. Go down the line. Just lost a giant in the civil rights movement. That his story was rough. That man he was one floor down in the hotel where Martin Luther King was assassinated. The man had to walk a rough road to be who he is, to live the life he lived, to serve in the way that he served. And you want it smooth? It's not possible. It's not possible. Nothing worth having is worth getting easy. Nothing. I don't care what they tell you. The gold medal is worth it because of the blood, sweat, and tears, the early mornings, the late nights, the practicing, the small tweaks that you were making throughout the course of the year when there was no spotlight, no cameras, so that when you got on the world stage, you were ready. Nothing worth having is worth getting easy. You're living beneath your potential, not because God has not called you to greater, because you don't want to accept what's in front of you, the path that it's going to take in order for you to achieve what you want to achieve. And so I challenge you. We're 13 minutes into the coaching experience today. I challenge you right here to be intentional. I challenge you to really do the hard work that is going to be required for you to understand your quibbles and quirks and your idiosyncrasies so that you can serve at the level God is calling you to. So that you can overcome the things that have you stuck so that you can actually get to the things that you've been designed uniquely and unfairly qualified to deliver. That you interrogate, you mine the gold in your story. That you refine it, because unrefined gold is worth nothing to anyone. But you've mined the gold. There's gold there that's not up for discussion. There's gold there. And when you find the gold, when you've dug deep enough, when you've been persistent and you strike gold, just know that there's more. And when you refine it, and you recognize that this is of immense and immeasurable value. Define, mine, refine, and when you do that process, you have something to bring to the marketplace. You have something to bring to the marketplace because God wrote it into your story. Some of the twists and turns on the road of your story and mine have nothing to do with what God would have designed for us, but it's because of some decisions that we made on our own. But the promise of God is that he will work it together for our good. He'll work it together. If you give it to him, well, man, I used to smoke. Give it to God. I'm not talking about the addiction so that you can be free. Yes, you should get free, but give it to God and watch him turn that thing around. Watch him use it. Here's the truth is, even the fact that I sit here with however many people that are watching live, with people who have joined my community, people who have said time and again, thank you, Kirk, for this space that you've created. I am an unworthy vessel. And no one is more clear on that than me. So every time something works, it's because God gets the glory. Every time something works, I tried to do a master's degree twice. I went into an MBA program and I went into a master's of cinema, religion, and worldview program. Both programs I was unable to complete. And I thought these programs I was unable to complete because I was delinquent, that I was making excuses. What I recognized later is that the things that I thought these degrees were going to qualify me to do, God wanted me to get those things without the degree so that it could be clear that it was all him. Media pastor at my church, one of the largest churches in my denomination, the cinema, religion, and worldview degree would have qualified me for that. But God was like, I need you to have that position without the degree. I'm already doing chief information officer. I was already doing leadership work I was already teaching, man, smart analysis, all that. The stuff that I was learning in the MBA program, I was teaching it to my mentees. And God was just like, I've already qualified you. You want to go get the paper so that you can feel good. No, I want you to feel unqualified because it's that feeling of being unqualified that allows me to do my work. That's where I get the glory. When somebody looks at Kirk and says, this guy don't got no doctorate, he don't got no, why am I listening to this guy? Because that's the way God designed it. I'm only giving you an example from my own story because I believe that my story matches yours. Maybe the scenarios and situations, circumstances are different, but it's going to be the same from the perspective of wherever you are weak, he is strong. And this, my friends, is how it all works. This is how it all works. This is how it all works. You have no idea who is waiting for you to recognize you're worth the effort. And when you do, you're going to discover purpose, you're going to change lives, you're going to expand reach, you're going to multiply your opportunities because that's how it all works. That's how it all works. That's it. I don't have anything else. I wanted to start our live stream today. Yes, we're going to take questions, and if you have them, go ahead and start putting them in the chat. I see one from Florence already. But the reason why I started this way is because I wanted to make it abundantly clear, and I'm going to be doing this on a more regular basis. You're not building a brand so that you can tell people to look at you. It's not an ego trip. It's not a shot in the arm. You are stewarding your story. God wrote it. He has people who will not know him by any other means than by coming in contact with your story. And if you steward it well, these other things, if you steward it well, that's the seeking part. When you seek God's kingdom first, all these things will be added. All these things will be added. Discover purpose, change lives, expand reach, multiply opportunities. All these things will be added. But that's not why you did it in the first place. You did it because you were seeking him first. You were stewarding the story. He's given every one of us a talent. To people like David, he gave 10. And people like Florence, he gave 20. People like me, he gave 1. But I'm going to take this 1. I'm not burying it. I'm going to work this thing for every moment I can. I'm going to use it. I'm going to steward it well. I'm going to steward it well. And my challenge to you, my challenge to all of you, 21 minutes in now, are you willing to do the work that's necessary for you to steward your story well? Okay. Whew. All right, let me see what we got here. Oh, okay. Florence was just doing her moderator thing. I thought Florence was sharing something new. I thought she was asking a question, but I don't think she was. Emily has a question. I thank you for being with us today, Emily. Emily said she gave a compliment earlier saying that I'm the best at what I do, and I want to say a word of thanks to you. There are days where I do not believe that, but I want to say a word of thanks to you. And I see your comment as well, David. Many of you are just commenting saying, I am willing, I am willing, I am willing, I am willing. And I love that. And I'm also raising my hand to say I am willing. But I'm also raising my hand with a clear understanding that the verbal response of saying I am willing is not how you answer the question. How you answer whether or not you will take the challenge is by doing the work. Is by doing the work. Is by getting one little increment better every single day. Recognizing that there's someone out there that you are called to serve. All right. Emily says, how do you overcome the feeling that there is always something missing from the content strategy? Like we need to be always doing more and more. So I think this is where I love this question because this is exactly what I was talking about. So let me help you. There is something missing from this strategy. Work it anyway. The only way you can confirm what's missing from the strategy is by taking a step forward, is by doing the work. And then the flip side of that is, so I want to answer your question directly. How do we overcome the feeling that there is always something missing? So first of all, I want to say that there is something missing because we don't know everything. You make decisions based on the information you have in front of you. But if you wait until you have all the information, you will not do anything. So you make the decision knowing that with this perspective I have now, I'm making the best decision I can. And I'm moving forward with a full understanding that I don't know it all. And this is where I'm coming to the crux of your question. How do we overcome the feeling that there is always something missing? That this feeling you have is a deficit that you're identifying inside you. And that deficit is not going to be made up by something else. That deficit's only going to be made up by God. It's the only way. That's why he says, my strength is made perfect in your weakness. It's made perfect with the deficit. If you have all the pieces that you need, if you felt confident, you actually would not deliver well. Some of my worst speaking engagements, my worst podcasts, my worst videos were videos or content or speaking that I was doing from a confident place. I got this. Oh, I got this. Oh, man, I got this. I've been doing this. I've got this. I'm full. I'm ready to be poured out. I got this. I want to be clear. There's a difference between boldness and pride, confidence and pride. I was prideful in those moments. Those are the worst deliveries I've ever given. Those things fell so flat. I wanted to give the people their money back. How do you overcome the feeling? Unfortunately, you don't overcome the feeling, you lean into it. You lean into it. You lean into that feeling that I'm not 100%. But here's the clincher. When you take action today, you are already one step ahead of everybody who hasn't taken action. And that is true across the board. When you take action today, you are that much further ahead of everyone else who's still gathering, who's still trying to fix the strategy, who's still trying to understand all the different pieces of the puzzle. When you identifying that this is part of the cycle, I hope is helpful. I want you to rest in the idea that even the people you think, I'm telling you this, I've been in the room. I've been on the broadcast before they went live. I've seen them in their routine behind stage. I've heard them ask the unsure question. Every person you can think of that you believe, man, if I could just be like them, they are also unsure. They also recognize something's missing. I'm just simply saying you're in good company. Wish I could tell you that, well, you just do this and you do this and you do this and it's gonna go away. No, you're in good company, and that deficit that you're identifying is necessary for success. To ensure that you're leaning, you even said it, on the everlasting arms. Come on. Oh gosh. She just said it. I just scrolled down to see if anybody else had commented, and she just wrote it right there. To ensure that you're leaning on the everlasting arms. That's it. That's it. You got it. You've got it. You're in a good place. You're in good company. You're in good company. I'm just pausing because I want that thing to settle. I want it to settle. I want y'all to really kind of, really get your hands around that thing. Touch it, taste it, feel it. That deficit is necessary. It's required. It's required for you to be able to have what you need. For you to be able to have what you need. I had some stuff here that I was supposed to share. I didn't touch any of it. God just went a different direction today, and I'm excited that he did. I really, it is my life's goal to create a space where purpose-driven professionals harness the power of content for his purpose and for his glory. That's it. And so that's the whole point of this space. People are saying, oh man, $99 for the inner circle. I don't know. It's fine. I intend to steward what God has given me well. I intend to steward it well. And in order for me to serve people at a deeper level where real transformation happens, I need the resources in order to create that environment. Can't be doing it on a shoestring budget. I want to bring in folks that are going to blow your minds. But I'm not going to be able to do that unless I take what I'm doing serious enough to ensure that the investment matches the transformation that you will experience. So right now it's $99 a month. But all the feedback I've received is that that does not match. And so there will come a time where, because it does not match, I'm simply going to update that price to something else. I don't have a choice where that thing is concerned. I actually have to update the price to something that actually matches. All right. I want to throw this out here, and I'm hoping that everybody is tracking with me thus far. Let me just roll back up to the beginning before I even get into this next piece. Florence says, welcome to you as well. Thank you for being here. I see several comments inside Zoom. I'm not going to run those comments on screen, but I want to say a word of welcome to all my members of the How It All Works community. They're all here. Folks are chiming in from all over the place. What's going on, Double Dropkick Podcast? Always good to have you. 89 Sim Farm says, that's good. Thank you so much for being with us today. Truly appreciate it. You are a blessing. You are blessing me. You are blessing me. I love that. I read that incorrectly. Thank you. Thank you for your StreamYard videos. Hey, man, my absolute pleasure. My absolute pleasure. And I intend to do an update on StreamYard quarterly, and we'll go from there. Oh, DJ Strick is on the live. What's going on, sir? He says, I hear you. I hear you. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much for coming through. David Hunt says, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Florence is just sharing with you guys, like, this is what a question looks like, y'all. You put a Q : in front of that bad boy, and we're able to answer it for you. So I love that. I love that. Emily says, you are the most qualified at what you do, bar none. I appreciate that. I still feel like I have a long way to go, a lot to learn, but I appreciate that. Steve is in the Zoom room. I got to post a couple of Steve's comments, man. Steve's been chiming in heavy here. It's exactly, we are the same, Kirk, so much on the soul level. Let's go. I need to hear that again and again and again. Come on. David Hunt put a T on the end of that thing. I don't know I don't know how you pronounce that one, David. I love it. I love it. Several of you put in there, I am willing. I am willing. I am willing. Candace says, the transparency is so real. It's so real. Listen, it is. I don't know any other way to be. I don't know any other way to be. My guy Doc Vibe is with us. I don't see him in the Zoom room, but at least he's with us on YouTube, and I appreciate you for being with us today, man. Always good to have you here. Let's see what else we got. This is comforting indeed. I'm glad to hear that, Emily. I'm glad to hear that. This is why I do what I do. Because I just feel like, man, iron sharpens iron. Iron sharpens iron. This is why community exists. This is why when God said it's not good for the man to be alone, he wasn't talking about romantic companionship. Wasn't talking about having a soulmate. He was talking about community. Because he, the Godhead, Father, Spirit, Son, already had community. He wanted man to experience what they had already experienced. This is why he doesn't intend for us to go it alone. This is why community is critical. That's why I've bet on community more than anything else. This is the vehicle where transformation truly takes place. And if you think about it, church ain't nothing but community anyway. Whew, okay, let me see what else we got. It's perfect the way it went. Okay, Steve Factor, thank you. Yes, sir. Iron sharpens iron. Come on, Florence. That's the name of her conference. I love it. Let me see here. God will tell the exact price. Oof. Yes, he will. Yes, he will. Florence says, preach, sir. Listen. Walking good and heavy today. Listen, every now and again, man, we come locked and loaded. Doc Dwayne Wood is on the live with us today, man. I appreciate you, sir. He's a member of both the How It All Works community, and he's a member of the A-List Digital Footprint community. He's one of my recent graduates from that program. And I'm just excited you're with us today, man. Truly, truly, truly appreciate you, brother. I wanted to just kind of open the floor up. I know many of you have some questions. That's what the coaching corner is all about. You could have questions pertaining to a streaming platform or a content workflow, a video editing process that you are trying to fine tune. You could have questions about strategy on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on YouTube. You listen, whatever it is. You could be trying to figure out, what is my topic? You could be trying to figure out, who am I uniquely qualified to serve? You could be trying to figure out, how do I show up in these digital streets? What do I need to do to fine tune and optimize my digital footprint? You could be stuck on your mailing list. I'm just telling you, I'm just giving you some examples of some of the things that people have asked for in the past, and we've been able to work with them to get them across the line. And so want to do the same with you and for you today. And if that's you, go ahead and drop a Q colon in front of your comment and let us know in the chat. And if you are on Zoom, man, don't be shy. Go ahead and add your voice to the conversation. The Zoom folks can be heard on YouTube as well. So the conversation we have is not private. I want to say this as you guys are kind of getting your fingers warmed up. I did a full overview. I think it's a 45-minute video. It's 45 minutes plus some other announcements and things for the community. But it's a full hour-length video that I'm going to be uploading to the community this afternoon for you guys to be able to consume. And so if you're not in the community, it is what it is. I get it. But if you are, just know that we're making good on that promise. Remember, we talked about about doing a full overview of the beta release of eCamm. That beta release, that video has been recorded, and I'm going to upload it, and I will be in the comment section for your questions. So go ahead and consume that thing and let me know what you think. For those of you who are online, I am going to be doing something similar, but not until this version of beta eCamm has been made full version. Because online, I find it to be a real waste to showcase the beta version when a full version is going to be coming out, and that full version sometimes doesn't look like what the beta releases look like. They kind of make some decisions and they finally settle on a particular thing. And so that full version is what I'd like to do. In fact, I'll give you this example. A good friend of mine did a full video on the beta release when it first came out, but they have made significant changes to that release now that they're on revision 7 of the beta release. And so what happens to that video? That video is sitting on his YouTube channel. It's not evergreen. You see what I'm saying? It's like that's a picture in time, and it's worse, a picture that was never meant to be public. So I don't necessarily cover beta content in the YouTube streets or in the public space. I cover that inside the community. Several of you are on the live today. I see some questions are coming in. But I, again, just want to say for those in the community, the eCamm video will be uploaded this afternoon, and I'd love to hear your thoughts and responses where that's concerned. Okay, Florence says, I've been considering your teaching on digital footprint and having one place to send folk to get into your ecosystem. What's your thought on having the one place be the email list? So I love that. I think that there's how do we say this? You have to dangle the carrot. Audience first. The audience first methodology dictates that if your one link is the mailing list, then the one link is not an audience first approach. The audience first approach would be a download that you would get by giving me your email address. Audience first dictates that the one link be something that the audience will want. So I am a big proponent of a lead magnet, up to and including having a landing page on your website for the lead magnet. And the landing page for the lead magnet is basically your email list. And maybe that's exactly what you're saying, but I wanted to kind of come at it from that angle so that everybody kind of walks with us through this entire process. The person wants the thing that you're giving them at this download. But in order for them to get it, you're simply asking for them to also, listen to the verbiage here, also allow you to give them a short email packed with value once a week. Both of those concepts are audience first. And I hope that makes sense. Yeah. Yes, the download would build the email list. Absolutely. We are together. We are together. Thank you, babe. My wife is in the comment section. She says, hit that thumbs up if you're getting value. Come on. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yes, the download would build the email list. That's absolutely correct. Okay. Steve, I see your question as well. Definitely make sure that your questions have a Q colon in front of them. I see yours and I've already marked it as a question. But it does allow me to be able to parse everything quicker if I can see that the question is clearly a question. Okay, Emily says, how do we control the scenes in eCamm so that when I open it, all the folders are not always open? I always open to scroll lots of folders to get where I am trying to go. So I personally have asked this same question multiple times. I hate having to expand my folders, but what I ended up doing, Emily, is I started using my profiles differently so that I don't have, because before eCamm created profiles, I used to have all my shows in folders. And so when I would open up eCamm, all the folders would expand, and some of those shows had like 20, 30 scenes. So now I use my profiles for my shows. And in those profiles, I don't even bother putting a folder unless I have like a subgroup of something, but I don't mind those being expanded. But I do not know if there is a way to ensure that all your folders open up. When you open up eCamm, it opens with the folders collapsed. I do not think that that's possible. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because it's also a pet peeve of mine. So but I hope that what I'm sharing in terms of the new way that I'm using profiles. When I started using eCamm, there were no profiles. So, and then when they added profiles, I didn't quite get it until I started, okay, that kind of makes sense. In fact, I actually love profiles now because what I do is I have a template profile, which has some music, a couple of pre-designed scenes that are kind of some templates. And then, I'm able to just kind of create a new profile or, duplicate that template profile, rename it to whatever show I'm doing, or if there's a presentation I'm giving or whatever, and then I'm good to go. The only challenge with that is every now and again, there are some scenes that I want to go to from a different show that I can't go to because you can't change profiles while you're recording or while you're live. So keep those things in mind. What I have also done, however, is with my template profile, oof, mercy, worked arms today, help me. But with my template profile, I have been adding scenes to that template profile so that every time I duplicate it, I at least have a couple of scenes that, I maybe in some time past, I was like, man, I really would want to have that scene available to me no matter what profile I'm in. It's kind of like the all scenes section inside the overlays window. So you want to make sure that your template profile has those things in it. And here's another quick tip that you don't want to do. Do not start adding things to your template profile, right? You want to make sure when you go to your template profile, the first thing you do is duplicate it and then rename it. Like that, I've done that so many times, and it causes me to have to go and recreate my template profile. Last thing I'll say where this is concerned is when you have your template profile done, and edit, and you have your music, you have your standard scenes and whatever in there. Export it, and save it off on a file on your computer, because you can always re-import that profile and then rename it. So that's another way to just ensure that you never write over it or start editing it inadvertently and forget to duplicate it like I did. Hopefully that's helpful, but I thank you for your question. Let me see what we got here. Let me see. Let's see. Oh, Steve Factor says, I want to sample music that is less than 3 seconds long. What's the deal on that? How does FB and YouTube see this? How does God see it? Can I sample 2 seconds and loop it, or does everything need to be original or copyright free? So the quick answer to your question is everything needs to be original or copyright free. I wouldn't necessarily, I'm not gonna make this a spiritual debate. I think we always want to do things above board and in an honest way when it comes on to, however we're doing our operations. But there's music. We use music every week at our church, and of course, there's so many other ways in that we use music. This music is not ours. We know, a lot of it we have not written ourselves. Churches, however, are covered under CCLI to be able to use music, especially as a cover, right? So if our praise team, or we have a singer that goes up there and sings a song that belongs to somebody else, they're covered while that program is live, not replay. And where many of us get in trouble is we stream live and then we don't take it down. You want to stream it live, take it down, and put back up just the part that you own. You can't put back up a song that you sung that belongs to somebody else. And these are the challenges that we have. Because even in my case, in many cases, we have the owner of the song singing the song on our stage, and we still can't keep it up. So Jonathan McReynolds comes through, Anthony Brown. Like this coming weekend, we've got Kurt Carr, the Kurt Carr singers coming through to sing. We can't keep the music up. We got to take it down. Even though the original owner, singer, writer of the song is on our stage singing it, even he or she does not have the right for us to be able to stream it and leave it up there. So I would say, to be on the safe side, do not use copyright-free music or create original. Sorry about that, but yeah, use copyright-free music or create original. Yeah.
I know a guy that does original music.
Say one more time. Oh yeah. David says, I know a guy that writes original music. Yes, he does. I love it.
Oh, good. Seriously, David or anyone else, let's talk, because I want some music.
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
share
David.
the message.
This is
Yeah.
that's part of those 10 gifts that I was talking about earlier when I said David's got 10. God only gave me 2, but David's got 10. I'm just joking, y'all. you know, David is all love, man. But yeah, David is a multi-talented guy, so definitely excited that he's part of the community. What's going on, Nathan Johnston? It's been a minute. Truly appreciate you coming through and hanging out with us today. That's great to know. I did not know about different profiles. We'll check out ASAP. Boom. I love that. I love when we get a W. Come on. Let's go. That stuff pumps me up, man. Sometimes, you answer a question, you're not even sure if is this working? Is this working? But I'm excited, man. Emily, check out profiles. Let me know how that works. Scroll back into the video if you need to get get the context of what I was sharing again. But definitely check out profiles. It's gonna bless you. It blessed me, and it allowed me to kind of differentiate. I'm OCD. I like to have things organized. So when that thing expands every single time, I go nuts. So I'm with you, sis. We just got to figure out the best way to work it. Nathan says, need some advice on getting cameras that have 4K quality for a reasonable price. And so one of the cameras that I can easily recommend Nathan is the YOLOCAM, the YOLOCAM S3. I just went around the desk to pick it up. The YOLOCAM S3 is really good, high, in my opinion. This is a great 4K quality camera at a reasonable price. I think it's a great 4K quality camera at a reasonable price. And on this channel, this very channel that you're on, I did a video where I went over it and I even showcase what it looks like. And in that video, in the first comment, I believe, or in the description, one of the two, I actually have a link for you to be able to buy this camera. It's $200. It is a webcam, and you can see, if it says right there, AI-powered 4K live streaming camera, which if you can live stream with it, that simply means you can also record with it. And I will even go as far as to switch to it. This is that camera. So it's not quite the same angle as the one that I'm using now, but it's a great camera, and you can dial it in. It's got software, it's got all kinds of stuff. But yeah, Nathan, definitely check out the YOLOCAM S3. Check that out. Definitely something that I would recommend. Boom, boom, boom. That's my wife, y'all. She says, thank you. Emily says, very helpful. My absolute pleasure. I don't know, Florence, if that comment was for us or if it was for somebody else. You know, Florence is always doing like 10 different things at the same time. So I see your comment in Zoom, but I was going to put it on screen. I was like, no, let me not do that. I don't think that comment was meant for this group. All right, 11 of you guys are still with us on the live. I would imagine that you have a question or two. Oh, got you, Florence. Got you. But yeah, I imagine that you still have some questions for us. Yeah, I imagine that you have some questions for us. If you're working on some things, if you got something coming up, I would love for you to be able to share that here. Would love to be able to answer your questions. This is the Coaching Corner. This is the middle of the middle. I got about 10 more minutes, and then I'm gonna jump out of your way. But I really wanted to listen. Steve Factor, Dr. Vibe, Florence Donald, Candace Hayes, David Hunt, all of you are here. Let's go. What you got? Hey, Nathan Johnson is saying, can you use YOLO with eCamm? The answer is yes. Yes. This is eCamm I'm using right now, and that is the YOLO. So yes, the answer is yes, sir. Appreciate you. Yes. All right, Doc Vibe is here. What you got, sir? What you got?
Everything's good. How's you and family doing?
Man, we are good, man. We are good.
Excellent. Quick question for you.
Yeah.
Looking maybe in the near future to be doing a shot on location. What is the minimum gear? Because it's going to be a total new experience with myself and a co-host. What's the minimum gear? And I know it makes no questions about questions. I'm just putting out there. What is the minimum gear we should be looking to acquire, rent, purchase to do a 2-person on location shot?
Okay. 2-person on location, shoot or stream?
Shoot, not stream.
Okay, shoot, not stream. 2-person automatically puts you in a 3-camera range. Okay. Is there a live audience?
No, this is going to be recorded and then rebroadcast. So it's a pre-recorded piece.
So you're doing an on location podcast or interview recording, which is great.
Yeah.
Listen, Emily, I see your comment. Thank you so much. And Nathan, yes, you're good to go. You're good to go. So definitely eCamm, YOLO works with eCamm. So yes, 2-person on location, interview recording. You're gonna want good audio. You're gonna want good audio. You're gonna want we want good audio. So do you want a small footprint, or you don't mind bringing, XLR cords and stuff like that?
Let's think big.
Okay. So I would do an audio interface, probably a Rodecaster Duo. It's got the 2 XLRs in there. You could do pod mics. Those are $99 each, so they work.
Okay. Well, I have a Rodecaster Pro.
If you
That
have the
helpful?
Rodecaster, so I'm not a big fan of taking anything out of the office, but if you have the Rodecaster Pro, that is exactly what I'm recommending. That I just a smaller version of it, but if you have the bigger version, no big deal.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I want to be clear: we're not looking to send the audio into anything. You're just using the Rodecaster Pro as a standalone device to record the audio. So you're going to hit record on the Rodecaster Pro, which means, because many people, I can't tell you, I got a call from a guy and he was just like, hey, I know you said that I could use the Rodecaster Pro to record the audio. He was doing a podcast at a conference. And I was like, yeah, you can. What's the problem? He's like, well, I don't know how to record the audio unless it's connected to my computer. So that's what he ended up having to do. He connected the Rodecaster Pro to his computer. Then he was able to record the audio in eCamm like he was doing at home. Okay,
Right.
I get that. And I said to him, no, you have to buy an SD card. Put it into the Rodecaster Pro. And when you do that, your button will turn green and you can hit the record button. And when you hit the record button, it'll turn red. And when you're done recording, you hit it again and it will turn off. He was like, okay, no. That's where I went wrong. He did not buy the SD card. So you wanna have an SD card in your Rodecaster Pro and record your audio directly to it. I would, for simplicity, set up your cameras at the angles that you want. One of them as a wide shot, so you can see the two of you. And one on one subject and one on the other subject, right? So you have one that's framing me up, one that's framing you up, one that's framing both of us up. That's why it's 3 cameras. And even in the edit, you may not even use the wide camera that much or that often, but it's like having a safety track. It's like you know what I mean? It's like, just in case something happens, is in case, you want to cut something out or whatever, you have this other shot that's wide. And I always make sure that the wide shot is the highest quality, meaning 4K, because you can punch in on that. So remember I said, you want this to be big footprint, small footprint. He said, let's make it big. I said, okay. That's why I said audio interface that's going to record. That's why I'm saying individual cameras. And your main camera being 4K. But here's the thing. You could record with one camera and wireless mics, right? Mic yourself up, mic up the person, hit record on the mic.
Yep.
I don't even have that mic here. But you hit record on the mic, which is your backup track, and then you hit record on the camera where the receiver for the wireless mics are plugged into. Then you're recording in the camera, but you're also recording into the device for each one of your microphones. So you're getting individual and combined audio. So you have backup.
Okay.
So you could literally do one camera, 2 mics, and that would be it. You could record the whole podcast that way, because depending on the quality of the camera, if it's 4K, you can punch in on each person as they're talking.
Oh, okay.
In post, you can punch in. Okay, while Doc Vibe is talking, I'm punched in on him. You punch back out to wide. You punch back over here. Boom, 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 boom. You can do that in post. And you can actually set up a macro for that, so that you're just clicking a button in your editing software to be able to do that. Of course, the other option would be to have 3 cameras. And the benefit of the 3 cameras is that when you punch, the camera that's on you would be facing you. So you would have a full image of your face, as opposed to a side image, because the wide shot's going to show the two of you basically looking at one another.
Right. Okay.
So you almost want to set up your cameras almost in a half moon. So one is directly straight on. The other one is facing the person who's looking this way, and the other one is facing the person who's looking this way. And so that to me would could cover all your bases. You'd have good clean audio, you have good video, regardless of which option you decide to go with. But here's the thing that I think you definitely want to consider is lighting, especially depending on where you're going to be, depending on what the scenario is going to be. You either need to have really great lighting or you need to have a really, really good camera. The FX3 is a great camera, very versatile, low light scenarios. It will still give you a phenomenal shot. FX30 as well. That's what I have. I've taken that thing into dark rooms and still been able to record, and people did not know that we didn't have lights on. So
Wow.
you have options depending on the camera. But the FX30 is $1,800, no lens. And the FX3 is double that, no lens. So you got to take your, you got to take your pick. So you're not going to be doing anything like this. This is $200. You're not going to do that. But you could, however, do something like this and then plug it into your laptop and record that way, because this doesn't have any onboard recording. I would recommend just recording with a DSLR, maybe like a ZV-E10.
Yep.
I don't know which cameras you have, but I would recommend. And in those instances, while these cameras do well in low light, you definitely want to have some kind of control in terms of your lighting. I don't know if you got a chance to see Steve's new background. Steve, go ahead and turn your camera on real quick. I want him to see what you look like. Steve has changed his location. That's not a green screen, y'all. Steve is in another portion of his home. And the thing that he's done is he's just prioritizing where he's getting the best light. Hopefully that makes, so it's just finding a spot where you guys are going to be able to, we're going to record this thing that has good lighting. And if it's a window where it's like, okay, we've got good lighting from, 2 to 5, well, make sure you record in that window, and that's it. So it's that level of intentionality. Sometimes the intentionality is going to come with a price tag. Some of it's just kind of being a little more circumspect, ninja, so that you can ensure you're getting what you want across the line. Does that make sense, man?
Yeah, thank you for covering like big picture, big dream, and the low end to big end. So that covers everything. Appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. My pleasure, man. I'm glad to do it. Glad to share. I think this is what it's all about. Let me see here. Emily says, thanks again, Kirk. So glad I caught you live. Greatly appreciated. You covered a lot of valuable territory. And thank you again, Emily, for coming through and asking your questions. Now, Steve says he's got a branding question. So let's get him on here. Steve, what you got?
Well, okay, really quick, before the branding question, I just sent a picture of me at the same location I am now at 7:30 in the morning.
Oh, let me pull that up real quick.
Look at how much lighter my eyes look. It looks like dark circles because the light is up top. I'm somebody lighting really when it comes in here.
Whoa, that looks great. Yeah.
Right? That's like 7 before the sun came up.
I'm trying to figure out. I wanted to show it to the audience, but I can't seem to figure out. Let me see here. Sonix. There we go. Now I've got it. Here we go. So this is the picture that he just sent us, y'all. That is crazy. Look how much look how that looks, man.
This is the same day.
It's crazy. Look at that. Same day, but just so much brighter. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Okay.
But and I'll say this,
yes.
So this is what I was talking about, Doc Vibe, and thank you for the explanation or the illustration, Steve, is that when you know the time is shifting, you gotta, if you want that look, then you gotta record in that window. And that's all.
Yeah.
So
yes.
But I still think it looks great right now too, Steve. I just want to be clear.
Okay.
I think it looks great right now as well. Yeah.
Okay. It looks like at 7:30 you could trust me, and I look a little shady right now.
Pun intended. Pun intended.
Right, exactly. Pun intended. Okay, my branding question is real quick. For 15 years, I've been Pure Energy chef.
Yeah.
Last year, I got a hernia, laid me down. I think God said, lay down, clown,
Mm-hmm.
and take it easy and just like
Sometimes he does
start
that.
over.
Yep.
And this is why when you're talking about root stuff, like where's this coming from and
Yep.
why are you selling and why are you a steward or are you just doing this for yourself? Like the
Right.
whole thing. I mean, when my camera's off, I was crying, Kurt. Okay.
Mercy. Mercy.
So mercy, absolutely. It's a great cry. I love it. So, when that happened, I decided to say, okay, I'm going to put down Pure Energy Chef for a moment
Mm-hmm.
and not so much about me and create a group called Pure Energy Chefs
Plural.
about we.
About we.
Yes,
I love it.
about we. And so, when I have a school in the future and I certify people, it's going to be Pure Energy Chef certified.
Right.
But the group is Pure Energy Chefs. When I have my logo and at the bottom, does it say Pure Energy Chef or Pure Energy Chefs?
It says Steve Factor.
Oh,
I
I
know.
heard the other day you say that to someone. And
I
I have
know.
no problem with my name. God
No,
gave
I
it.
know. I know. I know you don't. I'm just saying, you know, branding is such a crazy thing. It's the feel that people get, you know, it's all the intangibles. It's not just colors and fonts and logos and, you know, content. It's the entire package. It's the sacred phrases, it's the quibbles and quirks, it's the stories that we tell, the things that we laugh at, the inside jokes. Branding is all of the above. And branding is just best done. Personal brands, I believe, are best done when you brand on a name, on your name, especially since it's your brand. Now, you know, there's still a place, like I said, I still have How It All Works. I mean, it's still very much part of my brand, but
Mm-hmm.
that's the name of my show. I'm still the
Mm-hmm.
host. It's you know, it's still very much part of me. I still think there's a place for Pure Energy Chefs, plural. I just think that it's Steve Factor, man. It's that's
Okay.
really what it is. And people are, you know, yeah, when steward your story with content, discover purpose, change lives, expand reach. The expand reach part happens because your people's lives are changed and they're telling people about it.
Mm-hmm.
You want to make that as easy as possible. And so
See,
people are
okay.
going to work with you. They're going to work with Steve, not Pure Energy Chef. They're going to work with Steve, and they're going to like, yeah. My wife and I, our business is called Composition. So we had a client do a testimonial, and he was talking. He's like, "Yo, man, we were working with composition, blah 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 blah." But in the midst of the testimony, he's like, "Yo, man, when Kirk did this, when me and Kirk were able to come together and do like this, you know, there's a shift." And so
Mm-hmm.
somebody who's watching that testimonial is like, wait a minute, I know, I thought this was composition, but now he's talking about Kirk. Okay, hold on. We just want to make it clear. You see what I'm saying? We want to make it as clear
Yeah.
as possible. Somebody goes through the A-List Digital Footprint program. It's a great program. They'll get a certificate and it'll say A-List Digital Footprint on there, but they're going to say, man, when I work with Kirk, you see, when I work with
Mm-hmm.
Steve, that's what the testimonial is going to be. And you want to make sure that people can, on the strength of that testimony, that you can
Mm-hmm.
capitalize on the opportunity. The
Okay.
opportunity is an opportunity, and that's why, you know, every word is chosen specifically and for a purpose. Multiply opportunities. Expand reach, then multiple opportunities. But opportunities are just opportunity. Everybody has opportunities, but not everybody's capitalizing on them. Not everybody's
Right.
created the infrastructure so that they can capitalize on the opportunity. And so the person's life will be changed. The testimony will be given. The word of mouth will work, but will they find you if they're talking about Steve Factor and not Pure Energy Chef? You see, that's the reason why I'm saying that
I see.
it's got to be, you know, even if you keep the thing as it is, you still, I mean, I still have my How It All Works logo, but you still have to. There's got to be a co-branding almost, because you're delivering the transformation. And
Okay.
to be clear, it's not just you. It's your story. that's delivering the transformation. And so,
Gotcha.
yeah,
Gotcha.
hopefully that makes sense. It's a long way around to
It
answer the
does make
question.
sense, and it's like
Yeah,
I'm still a little confused about it because there's a part of me that wants to be like, I don't want anyone to know me. I just want to be quietly serving God.
right.
And then there's another part of me that's like, I'm going to shout on mountaintops and go,
Yeah,
roof.
yeah.
I
So
got
there's
like,
there's a number of ways to look at that from a biblical perspective. Names were in the Bible days were a totally different thing than they are today. But I do still what people named their family, children, whatever for whatever reasons. But God gave names, and those names were for a reason. I mean, when you hear the name Moses, it's difficult not to think of Moses. That's branding. I mean, it's just what it is. When you think of Jacob, it's difficult not to think of Jacob, but Jacob's name was changed to Israel. Who did that? God did that. And then he called his people the children of Israel. That's branding as well. And if Jacob changed to Israel, says, well, I really don't want them to be called after me. I really would prefer that we just call them, I don't know, God's people, because I just want to serve. But God's like, no, you're the children of Israel because there's something in Israel's story that I want to highlight every time your people are identified. I don't want to say it again because I think in case you may miss it if you're not really paying attention. There's something that is in your story that I want to highlight when your people are identified. And so, yeah, I mean, none of it is us. It comes from a place of saying, this is my story. No, actually, God's the author.
right.
The only parts of the story that God didn't write is where I messed up. And his promise is that he'll work it together for our good. And so there's other stories like this as well. Every time you say Paul, the Apostle Paul, you're talking about a story. That name is synonymous with the fact that he had to change it. And there's quote unquote shame attached. You see what I'm saying? It's like it's attached to that story. And I think that's how God has designed it. So, it's nothing wrong with pure energy chefs. I think, and I think it's noble to want to divorce it from you. It's like, I was talking to a colleague, a mentor of mine. I shouldn't say colleague. He was a mentor, and I was we were talking after a presentation I had given, and then somebody came up in the midst of me and him talking to say, "Man, Kirk, that was phenomenal. Really, really appreciate it." And my response was my standard response, right? All glory to God, man. It was not me at all. Blah 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 blah. And the guy said, oh, okay, yeah. And then he walked off. My mentor said to me, "Don't do that." The person is trying to affirm. So don't drink the praise, but don't shun it either. Because it's actually somewhat disrespectful when somebody has been impacted by your story and you don't allow them, you don't receive it. And so I'm like, so what should I say? He said, just say thank you. Just say thank you.
Right on.
And in your mind and your heart where you're sending that thank you to.
Yes.
But the person has been impacted. Like, I mean, this, look, here's Emily's comment right here. Thank you again, Kirk. So glad I caught this live. Greatly appreciated. You covered a lot of valuable territory. Okay, then I say, oh no, Emily, it wasn't me. You see what I'm saying? It's like, it wasn't me at all. No. That was all. And while there is a measure of truth to the fact that it wasn't me, but God is using me in this moment to facilitate a particular atmosphere and a space and a transformation. And I think we as creators, as believers, we have to figure out a way to toe that line a bit better. I myself included. I'm throwing myself under the bus as well here. I think I also struggle with hearing things that quote unquote put the spotlight on me or give me praise, Because sometimes I feel like I may not redirect it to the place that it belongs, and then I may get a big head. And God's like, let me worry about that. But in the moment, just allow the person, good night. Somebody wants to say, hey, Steve has really helped me change my entire life. Like, I'm off the meds. I'm at a weight I haven't seen since I was a teenager. I'm not feeling the aches and pains anymore. Like, Steve, bro, you helped me. It really wouldn't be good stewardship to not receive what they're trying to share. It's appreciation. There's a difference between appreciation and praise. So
And I do say thank you. I do embrace it, and I do. It's just like moving forward.
got you.
What is the direction? Is it like work quietly, or is it do how I've done my whole life and say, bam, like I was a DJ, right? So it's like,
Listen,
okay, here's the song, here it is.
I
And it was
say
Steve Factor DJ,
I think that the moment, the moment will call for what it calls for, and God knows that He's placed within you the right attitude and presence for the moments that you will experience. Because there are going to be some moments where you will just need to be quiet, and you'll discern which one is which. But I think being able to flip the switch every now and again and have the party is not bad.
I do. But
Oh
one of
man,
the biggest things last year I heard from Denzel Washington, and I believe it's changed everything in my mindset. And
let's
he
go.
said, stop chasing butterflies.
Mm,
Build a garden, and the butterflies will come to you. That was it. I'm done. That's all I
my
needed. I
gosh,
was like, I'm just going to be quiet. I'm going to do this. This whole eCamm and Kirk Nugent as my
let's
coach
go.
is the building my garden.
Let's go. I love
And
it.
then I'm just going to output it naturally, happily,
That's it.
gratefully, and it's
Listen,
over.
that's this.
It's over.
We go back to and with this, I think we're done. I'm going to go ahead and land it here, but we go back to Steve what I talked about in the beginning. This whole strategy that God has given me called How It All Works, where you steward your story with content, just like you said. Build the garden. God is saying, seek ye first. You see what I'm saying? God is saying, steward your story. God is saying, you do this piece. This piece that you do will bless you just by itself. But because you did it this way, all this other stuff's gonna come. It's not gonna be the point, but
I
all this stuff will
understand.
gonna come. The butterflies will come to the garden. But
Hey,
and it's great. And we want the butterflies to come, and that's phenomenal. But that wasn't the
yeah.
point. You built it because you were on assignment, you're being obedient, you're stewarding the story, you're seeking Him first, and all these things are added. And I believe these are things that every one of us have to be reminded of regularly, because we get out of sync, we get out of whack every now and again,
Yes.
and we start to, it's because I can't tell you how much strategy type content I've consumed, and it's probably to my detriment. I need to balance it a little bit more, but I love good strategy, especially if it's biblically based and I can track with it. But I don't think we leave enough space sometimes for God to just breathe on it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, I had a coaching
Totally.
client that just had something go nuts. And it's like we're trying to reverse engineer what happened so that we can make it happen again.
Yeah.
And what I came to the realization of is, no, God just breathed on it.
Yeah.
And He can do that
Right
whenever He
on.
wants to. Whenever
Right.
He wants to, He can just be like, you know what? It's Steve's time. Boom.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a
Right on.
and before you know it, we're all gonna be like, man, I remember when Steve was with us. But my point is, there's a component that we almost plan out of our strategy
Yeah.
when we try to methodically understand all the pieces.
Yeah.
Now, the promise of God is that He will work it all together for the good. He doesn't explain how He's gonna do it. He's just gonna work it all together, and you're gonna have front row seats to see him do that. And that's what I want to leave with everybody today. I thank you, Steve, for coming through and asking your questions. I thank you, Florence, David Hunt, Dr. Vibe, Candace, several of you who are still with us online right now. I really want to land right there, y'all. I hope that you take the challenge. If you don't know what I'm talking about, scroll back to the beginning of the live and watch the first 20 minutes where I gave that challenge. But don't miss out on, forget about the impact, the person, the version of you that is on the other side of the adversity you currently face. And that version of you that you would like to be, that you would want to meet, they will never appear unless you go through what you're currently facing. And you're worth it. You're worth it. God says you're worth it. Even if it was just you, he would have come down to this earth to do the exact same thing, even if it was just for you, because you're worth it. So let go of, throw out, dismiss, refuse to entertain any concept that says you're not. Do the work that is necessary to take the immense, immeasurable value that is in you and your story and make it available to the world. It's your boy, Kirk Nugent, the Geek Speaker Preacher. Thankful for your time and attention today. It has been a great one here online. I'm going to close out with my group in Zoom here in just a moment, but I want to say thanks to all of you for coming through and hanging out today. If you have a comment or question, leave it below. I respond to all the comments. And I want to say, take the challenge. Believe in yourself, do the work, and see what God does. Grace and peace.